The big question is, outside of the major cities, okay, net migration at record levels, has it actually been a net benefit to areas like yours here in Boston, where the sun is shining down on us today?
Well, I tell you the net migration and the figures, I don't believe them, first of all, because I think the figures, you can play with them at all times. To say 780 yesterday, 606 today, I think it's not the right figure. However, was it of any benefit to Boston? I don't think so, because most of the Bostonians are not happy about it.
Okay.
I mean, you had your day in Boston, you've seen what's going on in Boston, you see what kind of people are coming to Boston.
Well, on that note, now what people may have noticed there is just outside Anton's wonderful cafe there, I've been here since first thing this morning, and what was really noticeable is something that I think is happening in a lot of towns and cities around the UK. There was a group of individuals there, we believe them to be from Bulgaria, hanging around, and then what happens is that a minibus pulls up, they get in it, and they go out and do their day's work. And what kind of demographic change are you seeing here, Anton? Because bear in mind, this is supposedly the least well-integrated part of the UK.
Well, yes, it is the least integrated part of UK. I'll give you a small figure. There is schools where they have 60% of the kids in the school, they are from a European background. So 60%, that's a lot. So which means we have around 40% of the Bostonians. Now, the demographic is changing rapidly. As you see, I'm walking with you now, and when I look around, I hardly see any English or British person walking around.
Indeed.
It's the same people, which is, I think, is very sad for a Boston with such a history.
Let's turn around and walk this way, because you talk about the history of this particular place, and it is a really historic market town, and right there we have a 14th century Gothic church, a wonderful church. And what's the area that you call here now just in front of this church?
This is the Ingram Memorial. Mr. Ingram is the one who brought the pumps for water in Boston, and we respect it. People, they would like to come and see it, have photos with it, but unfortunately I've seen visitors coming to Boston, when they arrive there and they see this gathering of people, they go back. Okay. So it doesn't give them the right impression.
And the nickname locally for this area now is Foreign Island, is that correct?
That's a very funny name. I tell you, probably you may say that, because none of the British people go and sit there on the benches. Actually, I'm thinking to pass it through the council to take the benches off and just keep it clean and see if people can go and just pass through it.
Now, very shortly, what I'm going to be doing in a moment is going to our political editor, Darren McCaffrey, who's going to give everyone a proper full-scale breakdown of these numbers. Now, that is the national picture, OK? That's the national picture. But it's places like Boston that GB News needs to be. We are the People's Channel, and that's why I want to speak to real people like Anton. And when people talk about, highly skilled migration and people coming over here to get high quality jobs, etc. What kind of migration are you seeing? As the former mayor of this town, what kind of people are you really seeing in your impression?
Well, at the moment, and lately we've seen people, a lot of people, they are unskilled, they can't write, they can't read their own language, and I think to be part of this community, it will be hard for them to integrate. It will be very difficult. It's very hard. When I was a mayor, I tried to integrate everyone and work together with communities. As I'm myself, not English, but I'm British, I'm proud to be British. This is my home. My kids were born in this country, so I'm proud to take that citizenship. However, these people, they cannot integrate because of the lack of communication. They're living with themselves, they're watching their own TVs. So there is nothing else in Boston. It's only a fractions after fraction. And that's very bad for a town like ourselves and small town.